Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Vlogmas Day 17. I am so excited to share my 2022 planner lineup. Yes, I say lineup. I use more than one planner. If you are not new here, you know that, and you probably can relate that I use more than one planner. If you are new here or you are here just for the goals content and you clicked on this video because you're curious about what planners I use to plan my goals, yes, I do use multiple planners, and in this video, I'm gonna share all the planners I'm planning to use in 2022. But I would like to start with a caveat, and that is, this is the plan for January. These are the planners that I'm going to start using in January of 2022. It does not mean that they are gonna be the planners that I necessarily stick with for the entire year. It is so fun to have everything all compact into one year, but the truth is so many things in our lives change throughout the year, and sometimes that means I need a different planner as we get to a different time of the year. Now, I'm not necessarily anticipating any major life changes that will impact my planner lineup, but you never know. There's always a possibility that the lineup I share with you today changes at some point in the year, and I want to make sure that you know you have permission to do the same. If it is within your budget and you are in a place that you want to change your mind about the planners that you're using, that's totally okay. So let's start with the one that you know for sure was gonna happen, and this is one that I will stick with for the entire year, and that is my Cultivate What Matters power sheets. Oh, I did decide to use the green. If you did not hear me say that anywhere, when I put my review video up, which I will link below, any of these planners, by the way, that I've done a full flip through a review video will be linked in the description box below. When I reviewed this product, I had not decided whether I was gonna use the neutral color or the green, and I decided to go with this beautiful green. It is the special color for their 10-year anniversary, and it just feels right for me going into the new year. I am, spoiler alert, considering the word grow or growth for my word of the year for 2022, but as of the time I'm filming this video, I have not figured that out. So this green just felt right. This is my goal planner. This is the planner that helps me figure out what my goals are for the year and help me map out all the action steps that I take towards those goals. Again, I have a whole video reviewing this product. This is gonna be my fifth year, I can't even remember, using this product, and it has absolutely changed my life in so many ways. I would not have been able to quit my 9-to-5 job without the help of my power sheets. So if you are looking for something to help you with your goals in the new year, I cannot recommend these more. Some of the colors, I'm pretty sure the green, unfortunately, is sold out, but there are lots of other beautiful color options. You knew this one was coming, so I had to start with it. Planner number 2 should also be no surprise if you watch the weekly vlogs, and that is my No BS health planner. So I joined this weight loss program called No BS in June, July, something like that. And there's a specific planner that comes with the program. Now, you cannot get the planner unless you are a member of the program. It is not inexpensive, but it has 100% changed the way that I think about weight loss and my health and all kinds of things. And so I could not recommend it more. I will leave the program link down below if you're interested in checking that out as well. Also happy to answer any questions about it if you wanna shoot me a DM on Instagram or an email or anything. But this planner is for sure part of my lineup. They do offer it printable, and it's free. They just give you the printable version, but truthfully, I like getting it already sent to me, bound and coiled. I could go do this at Staples, etc., but I would pay to get that done, and I would probably save a little bit of money than just ordering it. They send it to me like this, but I like the paper that they use, and I like having it just sent to me that way. This is only a 60-day planner. So depending on how the year looks, I might skip March. I might use this one for January and February, get a new one for May, June. That feels a little bit weird. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I could end up using 6 of these next year because this is only 60 days worth of pages, daily pages, and this is a large 8.5 by 11 size. They do let you purchase an A5 size as well, but I just felt like that wasn't enough space for me to write, and so I like the 8.5 by 11 size. Again, I have a video flipping through this whole thing from start to finish if you want to check that out. All right, the next planner that is part of my lineup is new for me this year, and that is the KitLife Weekly in the cover design that I helped collaborate on. I love looking at this. I love this cover. Obviously, when KitLife and I created this cover together, I knew I was going to incorporate one of the KitLife planners, whether it was the daily or the weekly, into my lineup because I want to look at this cover all the time. And the daily doesn't quite work for me because there are no half-hour time slots. We will get to that in a little bit. And so I am going to be using the weekly as a health planner. I know you're like, wait, didn't you just talk about a health planner? Yes, this planner has all the stuff related to the program, and it is mostly about food. Yes, she encourages you to move your body if that feels good to you, but it is mostly about food. And there are a lot of other health-related things that I used to track in a separate plum paper planner. Things like my workouts, my Apple Watch stats, my sleep, the water I was drinking, etc. Things that I don't have space to track in that No BS planner. And so for the last 6 months or so, I just haven't been tracking those, truthfully. And it has been working for me, but I miss tracking those stats, especially my Apple Watch stats. Like I miss having a place to write my Apple Watch stats every day and just checking in with how I'm doing in all those other aspects of my health and wellness journey besides just the food. So that is what I'm gonna use this planner for. All right, so here's what I'm thinking in terms of using this KitLife Weekly as a health planner. So at the top where it says the big 3, and it's got 3 little check marks, I'm gonna do whatever the 3 health related things I'm focusing on at that time. So whether it's like water, workout, and steps, or water, workout, and sleep, or whatever it is, putting those 3 things at the top. I've also thought about relating it back to my No BS, which is make, follow, and assess the plan. I am all about getting check marks in more than one place. And so if I get a check mark for it in my No BS planner and in this planner, I'm totally here for that. And then I'm gonna use the line section to track the other things that I talked about. So I'll put my workout for the day, I'll put my Apple Watch stats, I'll put how much water I'm drinking, and then the little heart section they have deemed as self-care, and that's exactly what I plan to use it for. What did I do that day related to self-care? And then on the hourly section, I'm thinking I'm gonna use this to track my sleep. So like, did I, I slept from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. Now, the only time that won't work is on the weekends. Obviously, I sleep way past 6 on the weekends, but I'm also not really concerned about my sleep on the weekends. I do get a good amount of sleep or enough sleep. I also thought about actually putting my meals in on this section because sometimes I don't like keeping my No BS planner out on my desk because it's big. And so maybe I'll use this to jot down what I eat throughout the day and then, not necessarily transfer it to the No BS, but at least compare it to what I put on the plan. And then I love the gratitude section at the bottom. I also love that Saturday and Sunday don't have the hourly section. There we go. So it doesn't really matter, Laken. I knew there was like a reason why that was not that big of a deal. So then Saturday and Sunday I will do the same thing. I just won't actually track my sleep, which is completely fine. I don't know what I would use the monthly layout pages for, but I've talked about this before, and this is kind of a tip or key to using multiple planners. You don't have to use every page in every planner. Pretty much every planner I'll talk about today has a monthly section that I may or may not actually use. So even if I'm only using the weekly pages and then being inspired by this quote every day, I am really excited about it. Step 1 to planning out my actual time is my Google Cal. I've been talking about this for a while now that I finally converted to also being a digital planner. It lets me map out my time at a glance. It lets me plan things further in advance without like committing to it. It allows me to move things when they don't get done. And I just absolutely love having my Google Cal. That is a staple part of my planning system and something that I'm definitely not giving up this year. But something that I am implementing, well, I've implemented it like, I don't know, a few months ago, and for sure I'm gonna continue it in 2022, is using a weekly planner pad. Now, you're not really gonna be able to see this with the lighting. This is the one from Ink and Bolt, and this is the one that's working for me right now because it's got half-hour time slots. I do wish it had space for the weekend. For now, I'm using the sections on the side as my weekend sections. A perfect one of these for me would have half-hour time slots and the weekend, but I haven't found that yet. I was using the Cultivate What Matters one, which didn't have hours, and I was having to write my own hours in. But I have been loving using a weekly planner pad, and here's how I use it. On Sundays, I go into my Google Cal and I move things around to make sure that there's no overlaps, make sure nothing like needs to get scheduled, like make sure my week looks good at a glance. Then I take everything from my Google Cal and I transfer it to my weekly planner pad. Yes, that might feel a little bit repetitive, but let me explain what I then do with the weekly planner pad. Also, it doesn't really take me all that long because I'm literally just using a pen and maybe a mild liner, and it doesn't take all that long. I think there is benefit to copying it over in terms of my memory. It reminds me of things happening. Otherwise, what was happening without this system is that I was going into my Google Cal on Sunday and there would be things later in the week that like looked fine and I checked it, but then I would forget about them and it would just impact things a little bit differently. So what I do is I copy it all over and then I rip it off. It's the beauty of using like a notepad style as opposed to an actual weekly planner. And then I put it on the wall behind my desk with magnets. And then I can see it all week long. And when I go to plan out my days, which we'll get to in a second, I can just glance up and look at it. Now, things change, absolutely. And by the end of the week, this thing is crossed off, things are moved around. I added little notes, like it is a mess by the end of the week, but I love that I can just like take it down, make a change if something changes, and then stick it back up. And I don't know, it has been absolutely working well for me, and I am for sure continuing that. Still going to keep hunting for the perfect one for me, or I might just create it myself. But for now, I'm using this Ink and Bolt one. So everything goes from my goal planner and other appointments into my Google Cal, onto my weekly planning pad, then it goes into my daily planner. Which daily planner am I using for 2022? I have no idea. I literally will probably change my mind all of the time. And that is kind of the beauty of an undated planner, is that I can change my mind on which daily planner I want to use every single day. So the 3 that I currently have in my possession that I have been enjoying, that have been working for me, are the Amplify planner, which is the one that I'm using now. I love the regular coil that comes on this planner. I love the paper. It's thick and it's bright white. I actually have been learning to love the size. When I first started using it, it felt like the 8.5 by 11 was too big, but it's actually been working well for me lately. What I don't like about this planner is the squishedness, the thickness of the lines. They are way too close together. I wish that it was more spread out. I do sometimes use the dot section at the bottom, but I would get rid of that in a heartbeat in exchange for the lines being more spread out. This planner also does come with monthly and weekly sections that I don't use, which is fine, not a big deal for me. And then it does come in a dated version if I did want to have a dated version of it, which if I was committing 100% to this planner, I would. But the other reason I kind of like undated daily planners is that I can make them stretch longer. Like, this is a quarterly planner, but if I'm not using it every Saturday and Sunday, then I can just use that day for the following Monday, and then it lasts longer than a quarter. If you've been watching my vlogs that are part of Vlogmas, I am planning out in my Amplify planner, and you've probably seen a lot of that planner. The next planner in my potential daily lineup that I might grab for sometimes is the Full Focus planner. And the benefit of this one for me is that it is much more portable than the Amplify, because it's a smaller planner, and it's got a full page of notes for every single day. So this daily planner is much more beneficial for me when I am traveling. It fits better. It's got place for me to do notes or journaling or other things that I need while I'm traveling. So this is probably the daily that I'm going to use when I'm on the go. The negatives of me for this planner are definitely the coil. I don't like the coil. And then the paper is thick enough, it's fine, but it is off-white, and I do love a bright white paper. And then the last daily that is going to be in my lineup of dailies that I am using randomly throughout the year is the Life Daily. And this one does have some definite pros for me. The coil, this is the nicest coil I've ever felt in my whole life, is amazing. And the Life paper is my favorite paper in any single planner. It's thick, it's bright white, it's the perfect like texture for me. The Amplify planner paper is thick and white, but it's very smooth. The Life paper just has the perfect amount of grip for me. I just love writing on this paper. The negatives to this planner for me are, number one, all of the added goal section. All of those pages I'm not gonna use, and so it makes this planner bigger than it needs to be for me. The other thing is that the section meant for the hours doesn't have enough time slots for me to use for hours. And I talked about this in my review of this video, and I got a lot of recommendations, 2 options. One of them is to have the hours go down into the dotted section. That's definitely an option. It would allow me to have all the hours I would need to plan out my day, but I don't love the way that looks. Like, you're not using the page like it's meant to be. The other option is doing the hours on the to-do side instead of the hours, and then using the hour section for the to-dos. And that definitely is an option. It doesn't give me quite as many hours as I would like. It only gives me either from 8 to 6 or from 9 to 7. And some days that might be enough depending on what I've got going on in the evenings, but some days that isn't going to be enough. And then on the hourly side, it has those little 2 dots as if you're writing in the hours. And so like putting a little to-do list check mark there, like it's not perfect. So from a weekday perspective, this is not gonna be the best setup for me. However, I do think that this planner might work well for me on the weekends, because the likelihood I'm gonna work that many hours on the weekends is not very common. And I also don't always like to plan out my weekend days by the hour, because I like to have the flexibility on the weekends to do things if I want or not do things. So I could see myself on weekend days filling in any hourly things that are scheduled that we have going on or I have going on, and then just using the to-do list section. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it right now. The Amplify for weekdays, the Life for weekends, and the Full Focus for traveling. I know that you're sitting there thinking, are you kidding me? Like, and you have 3 daily planners that you're gonna exchange between. Yep, that is what I am thinking right now. Again, I might change my mind. I might come onto a vlog in the middle of January and be like, nope, this is the one that I'm using for the whole year. Who knows? That is the plan right now for my daily planner. All right, and then last, but certainly not least, I am so excited to talk about my new work planner. So if you've been around for the longest time, I have had a 9-to-5 corporate job, and I have, for the most part, had a separate planner for my work, for my job. And I always talk about that in my planner lineup videos. Well, even though I am now working full-time for myself, and my daily planner will definitely incorporate on a day-to-day basis what I am doing for working for myself full-time, I wanted to have a separate planner that would allow me to kind of track my business at a higher level and then also break down projects. And so I decided to go with a golden coil. This planner is absolutely beautiful. Like just the construction of the planners, I'm always so impressed with the quality of this planner. It is pricey. Like, you are paying for the quality. You're also paying for 100% customization, because you can customize this planner from start to finish, up to like almost, it's like 270 something pages. You can completely customize between so many different types of layouts. And so I wanted to create what I thought for me would be the perfect work planner. Now, this is my first year doing this, working for myself, running my business full time. Do I know if this is gonna be the perfect planner for me the entire year? No, I do not. But I have thought about it a little bit. I've looked at some other like entrepreneurship planners as a guide to think about what I might want to include. And I have created something that I think will work for me, and I'm excited to get started in. So because this is the only one that I haven't done a review of, all the other planners I've talked about so far, I have shown in a vlog at some point before, and this is the only one that's brand new. I'm gonna walk you through this whole planner and show you what pages I picked and what I'm thinking about each page. Okay, I'm just so excited about this. I debated a lot on the color. They do tend to do more like muted type colors. This was kind of the brightest one that they had. And it was very similar to like the plan with Laken yellow. It's not quite, it's a lot more like golden. It also matches this planner really well and looks good with the green. It kind of just went with all the other planners I had going on. So it just has a blank page at the beginning. Then it jumps right into the pages that I picked. So I started with this year at a glance page that I figured I would use to make a year at a glance. Like, what are the goals that I'm thinking throughout the year, launches I'm thinking throughout the year, things that I personally have going on, right? Like March will be very focused on the wedding, maybe content ideas, just kind of a place to capture what the year is gonna look like in an overview. Then I also got this year at a glance page. I'm not 100% sure how I'm gonna use this page yet, but I feel like there's gotta be something that I wanna track daily like this. I was thinking maybe it's the hours that I worked every day throughout the year, and then I can kind of see at a glance, literally, how many hours I worked, what days I worked. These are obviously not days of the week, right? It's Monday. Like, it's gonna be a different day, so it's gonna be hard to see a pattern from that standpoint, but I still think that this could be a cool thing to do now that I'm working for myself. Then it goes into the monthly layouts. Now, the one downside, actually, I forgot to explain. I actually technically did not get a planner. I technically got a notebook that I added on a bunch of pages to, because I did not want a weekly page. I didn't want a page for every single week. So I actually technically got a notebook. The bummer part about that is that I couldn't move like notes pages in between the monthly layouts. That is what I wish I could have done. I will show you like what I have a monthly layout. I have a page specifically where I got enough for one for each month. And then I have a bunch of notes pages. I would have loved to have them in that order, like the monthly layout, the checklist page I'll show you, and then the notes pages. And I couldn't do that because it was a notebook. So I'm just gonna have to have multiple bookmarks, like marking the place. But I did get 12 monthly overviews. And what I'm thinking is I'm gonna date these now. Same thing with my No BS planner. I am gonna go ahead, this is an undated planner too. I'm gonna go ahead and put all the dates in now to encourage me to use this every single day. So I'm gonna go ahead and date this at the beginning of the year. So I got 12 monthly layouts. And I love that it's completely blank, so I can have it be a Monday start, which is how I like to operate in a monthly layout. Then I got these checklist pages, get there? These to-do checklist pages, and I got one for every month. So I have not decided if I'm gonna have like each one of these 4 sections be a different topic, like whether it's like content, Patreon, coaching, admin, or whatever the kind of categories of my business in terms of things that I do are, or if I'm just gonna have it be like a brain dump of to-dos and then I'll sort them out later. And then the line section I was gonna start using as a brainstorm for next month. That way I'm transferring fresh into the new month. So I got 12 of these, one for each of the months. Then it goes into these dot grid pages. And what I did was I got enough dot grid pages that I was thinking for projects. And I've heard a number of different things on how many projects you should work on at any given time. I decided to go ahead and get 36 of these. That way, if I wanted to do 3 projects a month, I would have enough dot grid pages. Now, there might be some projects that span over multiple months. There might be some projects that take up more than 1 page, and so then it's not a problem. And there might be months that I don't have 3, like the month I get married, I might not have 3. So, but I did get 36 of these dot grid pages, and the plan is to use them for project mapping for projects throughout the year for Plan with Laken, which is one of the things I'm most excited to spend time on since now that I have more free time. Then the rest of it, after all that, is just lines. Just places for me to take notes, whether I'm taking notes on calls or jotting down ideas, making lists. I use up every other page in the back with lines. And then with all the golden coils, there's a pocket in the back. And then that's it. It does have a wire binding, which is not my favorite. The paper is kind of in between. It's not my favorite paper, but it's not the worst paper I've ever written on. But I love the customization. I'm excited about just all of the options in this planner. And I think that I will get a sense for if this works for me, what is kind of missing, what I might want to do differently next year, or maybe I'll get a totally different one in the middle of the year. But I'm excited to get started with this. All right, that is it. Okay, that's a lot. I know it's a lot of planners, but I love planners and I love writing things down, and it helps me stay organized, which helps me accomplish my goals. So let me know down in the comments, what planner or planners, if you are like me, are you planning to use in 2022? I want to hear all about your planner lineup in the comments below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or every day here during Vlogmas, focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. I can change my mind on which planner I plan. You're also playing for? Because you can customate